Roig Rage, oh. Roig Rage, oh. Have you ever been followed? I don't mean down some dark alley or in a Kmart, which I was legit stocked in.
Tell that story.
I mean, no matter what move you make,
I've changed addresses 3 times.
there was this person
This thing.
there.
Like it always had been.
Full disclosure, that person and I are in the same business.
Oh.
But as you will see, these things
Yeah?
just don't happen when you're just in the same biz.
Oh. They don't?
My wife thinks I'm paranoid.
You should follow that feeling.
She thinks, of course, it's because, well, we're in the same business.
You said business weird. Should we take it again?
I hope to make you guys see otherwise.
That would make you a narcissist.
I will be changing this individual's name to Bob,
Hi, Bob.
because I've heard he's quite litigious. Ooh. Laying this out, I don't know if it's going to be more linear, which I'm hoping to make it,
So are we.
or it could kind of memento itself.
Oh, Jesus.
And, we might be starting in the middle and then circling back and then going to the end, and then the end's actually the beginning, because
Sounds like fun.
this is
A podcast episode you probably shouldn't have made.
one of these things.
These things.
We'll start in 2014.
Keep rolling, but I didn't get these pages. Sorry.
I become a director
Oh, yeah, not a real director.
at a post-production dubbing facility.
That's exactly what I mean.
And Bob was already a talent there.
Can he juggle? I want to see juggling.
So we met on opposite sides of the microphone,
Ooh, that was very poetic.
which was fine.
Oh, was it fine to you, Travis?
Bob was an okay talent.
Shots fired.
Normally didn't get too much to do.
Jesus, don't shit on the guy.
I remember his sessions only being maybe an hour, maybe.
Did we really need to know that, or are you just shitting on him again?
During this time,
Oh, guess we're moving on.
I
Being
started
an asshole.
doing some talent work.
Look at you, all grown up.
Then, funny enough, I don't know if it's funny enough yet, but
But he was there before you, right, dude?
not soon thereafter,
Don't evade the question.
I was asked to become a
Spy for the Republic?
director engineer.
Dude, you scroll a script and hit record.
So it wouldn't be the two of us in the studio, it would just be myself.
Oh, you make me proud.
And I hopped at the chance.
You know, some people jump at the chance, but you hop, huh?
And during this time,
Here comes a tisk.
Bob remained a talent.
You say talent, I say talent.
And a year and a half later,
Is that timeline right?
suddenly, Bob was in my studio.
The forces of darkness are upon us, and he does not know who he's become.
Now, it's very odd because I'm supposed to,
I mean, it's not very odd. Bosses do shit all the time.
in my position, I'm supposed to be by myself, and I'd proven for a year and a half, maybe 2 years,
my script supervisor? Someone check those numbers.
that I was very adept at what I do.
Which is why they stuck him in your studio, dude.
Meaning I didn't need any, meaning, just leave me alone, let me do my thing, and we'll be great.
It was supposed to be just a training,
But
man.
Bob
And the evil that he carries.
sprouted up in the chair next to me.
I mean, he probably just walked in when you weren't there and just sat down. There
That
wasn't
wasn't
any
any
sprouting of anything.
Now,
Travis, ease up on the mouth noise. Damn it.
if you know that you are entering into somebody else's territory, you would probably conduct yourself with a little more respect.
Or poise.
You see.
Well,
Bob decided to take the words of the hires up a little too much to heart.
Teacher's pet.
And instead of,
Respecting someone's seniority.
earning your way into
Great wide open.
the position that he was going for, which was a director now.
First, as a director. Second, as a director engineer.
You see, Bob wanted to be a director.
Then a director engineer.
So, me, as a director engineer,
So confusing.
I was at this point very used to chiming in when I needed to and letting the talents know what I needed from them or what was going on in order to continue to record.
I established relationships.
Now, Bob would step all over whatever I would say and insert his own will
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He was told to. Yeah, I get it.
into the proceedings.
proceedings. Okay, there, Better Call Saul.
and continued to do so until I let him know that what he was doing was fucked up.
Way fucked up.
And, I mean, stepping over my words and interjecting, and
Just being a dick.
if I was going to move on to, like, say, another scene to record this talent on,
This fucking guy,
Bob would want to stay back and get something else or something, and
within his right, sure, but...
it created a lot of animosity between myself and Bob.
Or did you create that, sir?
Now, you can say that Bob had his, marching orders, and maybe I should have just remained quiet and just let Bob do his thing.
Here comes a big one. Jesus!
But I was a little territorial.
A little?
And I had
An attitude?
busted my ass to get into that position.
Yeah.
And now,
But it wasn't taking it from you.
and now this.
Yeah, no, we understand.
So, I finally
Pulled your head out of your ass?
get up the nerve to leave the studio that I worked at entirely
Boy, did I try.
and become a full-time talent. But on my last day of the
You
job,
gonna relive this again?
my supervisor
Bob's best man.
had kind of a meltdown
Man, he put his hands on me.
because apparently I went over their heads,
They're bald heads.
and my roles were taken away from me as a talent here at this studio
Dude, it was like 7 years ago.
because
Check the timeline.
He's an asshole. You're an asshole.
right? So I thought that'd be the end of everything that has to do with any of that.
Travis is still being followed by the hurt of that past. What an interesting metaphor for this episode.
Now, there was this other studio that I had been recording music at since the early 2000s.
Okay, now get a load of this.
And funny enough,
Finally, funny enough, that works.
guess who started recording at that same studio?
You're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it.
You got it,
Like in the present day.
Bob.
Bam, bam, bam.
Isn't that something?
Okay, we can all agree that that's kind of weird, right?
Now, I had been working as a
Bully, piece of shit.
talent out in the world, a freelance talent, for about maybe a year before I get a message saying that the studio that I was let go from,
Didn't you quit? Oh, right.
which is so weird because I was quitting it.
See? Yeah. Yep.
It's a strange business.
How do you get fired when you're quitting?
Craig, how the hell you get fired on your day off?
They had a role that
Cinnamon?
I had done and that the client wanted to know if I could do again. So they asked me, and I said, yeah, of course, because it's what I love to do.
Has Travis finished with the digressing?
And when I get back to that studio to record,
I guess not.
guess who's recording me now? Bob.
No, it can't be. No.
Bob is recording me. And let me tell you, I did my best. I really did my best to be a friendly person.
Bullshit.
But I would be remiss if I didn't say that
It's remiss.
I knew that.
I wouldn't be remiss. There's no D.
those sessions with Bob directing me were some of the most difficult I've ever had to
It ain't roofing.
endure.
There's an evil in him. An evil.
And boy, did I try to
Did you really?
be friendly. But
Be fair.
but Bob seemed to have to prove a point. Or what is it? Justify the chair he was sitting in?
Which used to be mine. Mine.
Oh, Bob. Oh, Bob.
Incoming tisk.
So
Exhale.
So I worked with Bob for another, I don't know, 6 months or so before I get
Oh, get a load of this.
not only fired, but banned from that same studio again.
Get over it, Trev.
Oof, why didn't I see that coming the first time?
Well, see, you have a heart, and they don't.
And now I leave that studio
Against your will.
and I arrive at an even newer studio,
Names of places have been changed. They just weren't replaced with anything.
and I start working as pretty much a lead actor there
Let's not call it working.
for a good long while.
It's more performing.
Lead roles. They garner more money and
Cue mouth noise.
kind of
Cut.
illustrates the status of performer you are.
I mean,
If you're getting those
it really
time and time again.
doesn't
I can't keep up with all the tisks.
matter.
But guess what?
What?
Bob
Yes?
had quit
Don't tell me.
the other studio,
Oh, jeez.
and now,
Don't say it, please. Don't.
guess who is working for this one?
No. 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 No.
That's right.
Thunder, 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 thunder.
And now, guess what? Now that Bob's working there, suddenly I'm not doing lead roles anymore.
Am I paranoid? Am I getting paranoid?
Suddenly my work dries up.
Well, Bob's friends flourish.
This is maybe the fourth or fifth pivot away and then into Bob. It's fucking crazy.
Or is it yet?
I don't think I'm being paranoid.
Yes, you don't think.
Bob didn't have to quit that one studio and then
And then
jump over to this other one.
he didn't. But
Bob never had to land in the same studio that I'd recorded in
the music one.
for 10 years prior to his appearance.
Again, the music one.
Bob. Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bob.
That studio goes under,
Not the music one, the other one.
and we're owed money.
Thousands upon thousands of dollars.
I get my money.
Because I. Everybody keeping up? No, I have a secret weapon.
Unfortunately, the information that was recorded initially by Travis Roig has been subject to litigation.
But then, I get banned from another studio.
Not officially, they just don't answer my emails, my phone calls.
And who do I
Yeah,
hear
stop saying band, dude.
is on their roster of new talent? Who? Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Bob again.
Bobby!
Bob had never recorded at this one studio, and suddenly, he is.
Are you guys like sensing a pattern at this point? Or is it still just me?
Suddenly, how many suddenlies did I say?
Enough.
No, it's the best timeline that I can give you guys, and
Are you falling apart?
I want to say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 instances.
Of said following.
Now, I don't know
Right said Fred following?
what creates this kind of thing.
Ooh, we're getting a wee bit philosophical now, are we?
Do I have some form of bad karma that I was born with? Or did I create it when the first real instance of Bob breaking the fourth wall, basically, and
Finish the word, damn it. Finish the word.
legit sitting next to me, was the way that I treated him?
In the beginning.
The beginning
He dropped the N again.
of this little circuit?
That reminds me of Circuit City.
Was it his karma? Was it
I
Bob's?
got my first DVD player there.
That he had to withstand the kind of person that I am,
Dick?
that maybe doesn't jive with his physiology. Is it? Because I can see, like, okay, I'm like the alpha, Bob's the beta,
You beta not mess with Bob.
and maybe this was a chance for me to become less of a bully
You a bully?
or something, less of an imposing presence,
Bro, you're just tall and fat.
and kind of humble myself
Kinda.
to like Bob's level.
Bob's the same.
And this was his time to stand up against the mean man, the big man. And
Listen to this.
he's supposed to
Did you hear how he said he?
put the sword in me, you know? So he can graduate and become somebody a little bit more powerful.
These are metaphors, and I'm trying to tell a narrative. Wu-Tang!
It's quite odd. There are a lot of moving parts to this, I
Too
think.
bad you don't move your parts, Trav.
And
Because he's fat.
I don't want any of them to make me look good in any way. I do get pissed
Or like bothered by.
I'm dealing with an individual now
Ooh, subplot.
that I do get pissed when they don't stand up for themselves.
They'll tattle on you.
And they have to involve other people, or
Their boss.
they have to involve HR. They have to involve, whatever the hell.
Some kind of bureaucracy.
I'm just like, and that's shit just pisses me off.
Because I want them to be strong.
Maybe I don't like people who, use the system to their advantage, since they don't have the muscle.
I think you're bullying.
The muscle in their voice, the muscle in their brain.
You sure you're not jealous, Trav?
To figure these things out on their own.
Yeah, but not everybody's like you, Trav.
I don't know.
Back to what we were talking about?
Trying to figure out this karmic thing.
Yeah, that.
Because to me, I'm not being paranoid. To me, this seemed like a...
Coup d'etat.
Am I alone in this?
Honestly, I don't know what you are.
Am I alone at having a follower? And not, they're not followers in the sense, of course, that I am raising an army
Of the dead.
of putting together a cult.
Of my personality.
Cue the birds. That's good. That's good. We got our money's worth, folks.
But it's like, you remember that movie with Denzel Washington called Fallen?
No. But do you remember Ghostbusters?
And every time a person would touch another person, that like demon or whatever was passed to that person, and they'd start singing that song. Time
No singing.
is on our side. Yes, it is. That shit.
Did we even secure the rights to that?
But this is kind of like it. Like Bob gets transferred
Like a form of energy.
like through the keyboards and screens and computer screens and casting agents and CEOs, and Bob just kind of gets transferred into the next thing until Bob finds me again.
Cue the motorcycle.
Comes up through a mic cable.
And cut.
I mean, I wonder where Bob's gonna show up next. It's really kind of creepy to me. But if it's a lesson I need to learn, well, what to eradicate Bob? What lesson am I supposed to learn?
To rid him of me.
How do I get rid of Bob? Because I swear to God, if I see Bob's name again on something or whatever,
Whoa. Is he having a stroke? Medic? Medic?
Look at that! My brain goes haywire just thinking about it. Just like,
Nope. He's recovering.
if you have a follower and if you're being followed, hit me up. Hit me up. RoigRagePodcast@gmail.com. Let me know who's following you. Maybe we can figure out this thing together. Because it's spooky.
It's a spooky.
Every turn. Every turn. And it's been going on for like 7 years. Is that crazy? I didn't even tell you. The worst part
This is what made it all click for me.
is when I got banned from a studio,
I just found out about these.
from that same studio that I began at.
Oh, Lord.
Guess who got my roles?
Well, roll. Really.
Guess who got my roles?
It's roll, Travis says in the script.
Bob!
Bob.
Bob!
That's 3 bombs.
I had a role.
Cinnamon?
This little squirrel.
I'm afraid he's losing it.
And I got it at another studio.
Get the timeline.
And that project was then reassigned to this studio.
What I've been banned from for the second time.
Which, by the way, the way they scripted it, I was making half as much money as I was at the other studio. So, it's not a huge loss. But out of every fucking person that could have done this voice, which is just like bullshit like that, he fucking got it. He fucking got it. Bob got it. Tell me, please, I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. This is crazy. This is madness. And Bob is the root of this evil. So beware,
Well, this one went off the rails.
and thank you for listening. Roig Rage, oh.